Welcome to the Daily History Chronicle. Each day, we travel back to discover a pivotal moment that changed the world. These aren't just dates and facts. They're stories of courage, conflict, innovation, and consequence that still echo through our lives today. Are you ready to explore? Let's see what happened on this day in history.
Good morning and welcome to today's episode. I'm Richard Backus, publisher of University Teaching Edition, and each day I invite you to join me as we reflect on a significant moment from our shared past. Today is December 31st, New Year's Eve. Tonight, millions of people around the world will gather to celebrate the end of one year and the beginning of another. We'll watch fireworks, kiss at midnight, sing Auld Lang Syne, and make resolutions we'll probably break by February. Here's what fascinates me about New Year's Eve. We're celebrating something completely arbitrary. December 31st isn't cosmically significant. It's not a solstice or equinox, not tied to harvests or celestial events. It's just the day our particular calendar system designates as the year's end. January 1st used to be March 1st. Different cultures celebrate New Year's on various dates. The Jewish New Year falls in September or October. Chinese New Year moves around between January and February. The Islamic New Year shifts through the seasons over a 33-year cycle. Yet despite, or perhaps because of, this arbitrariness, New Year's Eve reveals something profound about human nature. We need markers. We need rituals. We need moments when we collectively agree to pause, reflect, and imagine starting fresh. Let's explore this fascinating celebration and discover what it reveals about us. The first challenge in celebrating the new year is deciding when the year actually ends and begins. Ancient civilizations celebrated New Year's at different times. The Babylonians celebrated in March when crops were planted. The ancient Egyptians tied their New Year to the flooding of the Nile. Many cultures chose the spring equinox. Nature's rebirth seemed like the obvious time for a new beginning. The Roman calendar originally had 10 months, beginning in March. That's why September, October, November, and December have names meaning 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th months. They were before January and February were added later. Julius Caesar reformed the Roman calendar in 45 BC, establishing January 1st as New Year's Day. Why January? It honored Janus, the two-faced Roman god who looked backward to the past and forward to the future. Perfect symbolism for a new year. But even this didn't stick everywhere. When the Roman Empire fell, different regions celebrated the new year at other times. In medieval Europe, New Year's was celebrated on Christmas, Easter, or March 25th. It was a mess. In 1582, Pope Gregory XIII introduced the Gregorian calendar, the one we use today, and confirmed January 1st as New Year's Day. But adoption took centuries. Britain and its colonies, including America, didn't switch until 1752. Russia held out until 1918. Here's what strikes me about this. We've only been celebrating January 1st as New Year's Day worldwide for about a century. The tradition feels ancient and universal, but it's neither. When you think of New Year's Eve, you probably picture the Times Square ball drop. 1 million people crowd into Times Square, watching a lit ball descend a pole as millions more watch on television, counting down the final seconds until midnight. This tradition began in 1907 for commercial reasons. Times Square, called initially Longacre Square, was renamed in 1904 when the New York Times moved its headquarters there. To celebrate, the newspaper's owner threw a massive New Year's Eve party with fireworks. It was so successful that it became an annual event. But in 1907, The city banned fireworks due to fire hazards. The Times needed an alternative spectacle. They commissioned an iron and wood ball covered with 100 light bulbs, weighing 700 pounds, to be lowered from the Times building flagpole at midnight. It was a sensation. The ball drop combined several things humans love: a shared countdown, a visual spectacle, and the thrill of precise timing. Everyone watching shares the same anticipation, the exact moment of transition. It's a secular ritual that unites people across backgrounds. The ball has been redesigned several times. It's now an LED-lit sphere weighing nearly 12,000 pounds. But the tradition remains essentially unchanged for over a century. Today, with time zones, the ball drop creates a rolling celebration around the world. Sydney celebrates first, then Tokyo, Dubai, Moscow, Paris, London, New York, and Los Angeles. Social media lets us watch other cities celebrate before our own midnight arrives. The arbitrary nature of time zones, another human invention, creates 24 hours of continuous New Year celebration circling the globe. After the countdown, after the midnight kiss, comes Auld Lang Syne. That song everyone knows, but nobody really understands. Auld Lang Syne is Scottish, written by Robert Burns in 1788. The title means old, long since, or more poetically, days gone by. The lyrics celebrate old friendships and good memories. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and Auld Lang Syne? Burns claimed he transcribed it from an old Scottish folk song, though he likely wrote or substantially rewrote it. The melody is older still, used for other songs before Burns paired it with these words. How did a Scottish folk song become the New Year's song worldwide? Scottish immigrants brought it to North America. Canadian bandleader Guy Lombardo popularized it on his New Year's Eve broadcasts starting in the 1920s, playing it at midnight every year until he died in 1977. The tradition stuck. Now it's sung at midnight celebrations from New York to Tokyo to Sydney, often by people who don't know the words or what they mean. Here's what I find beautiful about this. We sing a song in words many don't understand about remembering old friends at a moment when we're ostensibly looking forward to the future. It's accidentally perfect, acknowledging that moving forward requires honoring the past, that new beginnings don't erase what came before. The philosopher George Santayana would appreciate that, looking backward and forward simultaneously, like Janus. New Year's resolutions are both ancient and modern. The Babylonians made promises to their gods at the new year, returned borrowed objects, paid debts. The Romans made offerings to Janus and pledged to behave well in the coming year. Medieval knights renewed their chivalric vows. But the modern resolution tradition, personal self-improvement goals, emerged more recently, particularly in the 19th and 20th centuries, as individualism and self-help culture grew. The most common resolutions are predictable: lose weight, exercise more, save money, quit smoking, and learn something new. Studies suggest that about 80% of resolutions fail by February. Yet we keep making them. I think it's because we need the ritual of recommitment. The resolution isn't really about the goal. It's about the moment of intention, the act of saying, I will be better. Even if we fail, the ritual of trying matters. It acknowledges that we're not satisfied with staying the same, that we aspire to grow. The calendar provides permission to start fresh. New Year, New Me isn't just a cliche. It's a psychological tool we give ourselves. The arbitrary line of January 1st becomes meaningful because we collectively agree it is a fresh start. Fireworks have become synonymous with New Year's Eve, and their symbolism is perfect. Light piercing darkness, noise marking the moment, beauty erupting into the sky as the old year ends. China invented fireworks around 1,000 years ago, initially to scare away evil spirits. They spread through trade routes, reaching Europe by the 13th century, using them for celebrations, royal events, military victories, eventually New Year, became common by the 17th and 18th centuries. Today, on New Year's Eve, the world's largest coordinated fireworks displays take place. Sydney Harbour's show is often the first central display, setting the tone. Dubai typically tries to break records with its extravagance. London lights up the Thames. Paris sparkles around the Eiffel Tower. Major cities compete to have the most impressive show. The displays cost millions of dollars. Cities justify the expense by pointing to tourism, civic pride, and tradition. But really, we're paying for a moment of collective wonder, a shared spectacle marking the transition from one year to another. Different cultures add their own traditions. In Spain, people eat 12 grapes at midnight, one for each stroke of the clock. For good luck in the coming year. Try eating 12 grapes in 12 seconds. It's more complicated than it sounds. In Scotland, first footing means the first person to enter a home after midnight should bring gifts like coal, salt, or whiskey, and should ideally be a dark-haired man for the best luck. Each tradition is arbitrary, but each creates meaning. The specifics don't matter as much as the shared practice, the sense that we're all marking this moment together in our own ways. First, we need rituals to mark time. Our lives would feel different without markers, birthdays, anniversaries, holidays. These arbitrary dates structure our experience, give us moments to pause and reflect. New Year's Eve is the ultimate time marker, the ending and beginning of the year, simultaneously looking backward and forward. It satisfies a deep human need to stop, assess, and recalibrate periodically. Second, we create meaning through shared practices. Individually, staying up until midnight to watch a ball drop or eat 12 grapes is silly. But because millions do it together, it becomes meaningful. Shared rituals create community, even among strangers. When you're watching the Times Square ball drop, you're not just seeing a lit sphere descend a pole. You're participating in something millions of others are experiencing at the same time. That shared experience creates connection, belonging, and collective identity. Third, we need the idea of fresh starts. Whether we keep our resolutions or not, the act of making them serves a purpose. It acknowledges that our past selves do not trap us, that change is possible, that tomorrow or next year can be different. The calendar offers permission for reinvention. January 1st isn't magically different from December 31st, but we treat it as if it is. And in treating it differently, we create a psychological space for change. Technology has transformed New Year's Eve from local celebrations into a global, connected event. Time zones mean New Year's arrives somewhere every hour for 24 hours straight. Social media lets us watch other cities celebrate before our own midnight. We see Sydney's fireworks, then Dubai's, then London's, building anticipation for our own celebration. Live streams mean anyone, anywhere can virtually attend Times Square's ball drop. You can watch multiple cities' celebrations simultaneously. The experience becomes less about being physically present and more about participating in a global, shared moment. Here's what New Year's Eve teaches us about human nature and meaning-making. Like Janus, the two-faced Roman god for whom January is named, we're simultaneously honoring what was and anticipating what will be. We can't move forward without acknowledging the past, can't let go without first remembering. That's why Auld Lang Syne is perfect for this moment. A song about remembering old friends and old times, sung at the moment we're supposed to be celebrating the new. It reminds us that fresh starts don't erase history, they build on it. The traditions we've explored today, the calendar systems we've created, the balls we drop, the songs we sing, the resolutions we make, the fireworks we light, are all arbitrary human inventions. None of them is cosmically necessary. We could celebrate the new year on any day, in any way, or not at all. But we do celebrate. We create these rituals because we need them. We need moments to pause, reflect, and reset. We need shared practices that connect us to strangers. We need permission to hope that tomorrow might be different from yesterday. History isn't just about remembering dates and events. It's about understanding how humans create meaning in a universe that doesn't provide it. New Year's Eve shows us meaning-making in action, taking an arbitrary point in time and transforming it into something significant through shared ritual and collective belief. So tonight, as you celebrate however you choose, remember, you're not just marking time. You're participating in humanity's ancient and ongoing project of creating meaning, hope, and connection in the face of an indifferent cosmos. And that's worth celebrating. Happy New Year. That's why we remember. Thanks for joining me today on the Daily History Chronicle. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share it with someone who loves history. Tomorrow, we start a new year of exploring fascinating moments from our shared past. Until then, I'm Richard Backus, reminding you that history isn't just about what happened, it's about what we choose to do with that knowledge.